Yes, is it working? Okay, welcome everybody to a new weekly episode of CommonSense, our podcast, our space for conversation. But what are you doing here? You may wonder, what is the reason that you click on this video? Let me tell you, you are as curious as I was to know more about IKEA. Yes, even more than you could ever imagine. What are their secrets, compulsive buying? What are the real reasons they have a restaurant with such a short selection of items that are such appealing for everyone? There are several questions that matter a lot when talking about IKEA. And my intention today is to go through several points and a couple of facts that you may not know or do, with a twist that I'm pretty sure you will enjoy. So sit down, put on your seatbelt, and get ready for a zigzagging journey towards epiphany. So, as I was saying, IKEA is famous for a lot of things. Tasty meatballs, their flat packaging, that you can craft your own furniture, or items like the Dawidp bookcase, the Pong chair, and a lot more with names that you and I could never ever pronounce. But what is behind IKEA? Where does everything start? And what are some curious factors or data about this company that we all either love or hate? And I'm pretty sure we all love and have something of IKEA, like this table, this chair, that furniture, or everything in my bedroom, because IKEA has been a staple in everyday life for consumers like you and me. So, IKEA. Let's start by jumping into the name. How was this name invented? Well, isn't really that much. Isn't even fun to know about it. IKEA is an acronym, okay? The I and the K stands for the name of the founder, Ingvar Kamprad. The E is actually the farm where he grew up, which is Enigmatic. And the A is for the name of his Swedish village, Agniar. And what you heard probably is the worst pronunciation and the worst naming of all history. But that's one of the key stories and key facts about IKEA. All their names come from the Swedish language, the Norwegian region, okay? So every time we see a name, it's inspired by somewhere of the mythology, culture, or language by itself. So it's nothing really fun, but it's so distinctive and characteristic that we all came to understand at a simpler side what is something that is about IKEA. Then, the IKEA business model, okay? What is all about this? Well, we all came to know IKEA for one reason, and I'm not gonna waste a lot of time talking about it. It's their low price furniture. And the low price furniture, this price leadership that the company is running, comes from a really simple concept. Previously to IKEA, every piece of furniture came pre-built or someone else came into your house and did it. This means that transportations from anywhere around the world, the raw materials, then the payment in handcrafting, and all those processes were long and expensive. What IKEA did was simplify it to the maximum by introducing the flat packaging, simplifying the way furniture should be built and allowing users to jump and put their hands onto it, which made for sensitive people a much affordable options to jump out, and then for another segment of the population, the handcrafted people, those who really love doing handcraft things and building stuff by themselves. So you have the best of both worlds combined into a single one, which I think is pretty fantastic. But this is not the deep and unknown secret of the company. And I have it here because they hide really well a smart secret. The way IKEA managed to grow to such an extent is because the company, IKEA, is a non-profitable organization. Yes, it's a quite similar concept as an ONG, okay? A or NOG, sorry, a non-governmental organization, not NGO. And you may wonder, how is this possible? How are they not generating any profit if we are actually paying them and they're exchanging money for products? Well, the money goes away in a different position, okay? What they do is that all the money they earn, they use it, okay? They instantly use all that money. By being a non-profit company, first of all, they can state a mission and vision to create a better world, a better organization, work towards the environment, and that supports the vision. Second of all, they can hire people, they get the prices lower, they motivate, and they show it as a good value about the company. Second of all, they pay much lower taxes than any other company around the world. Their products could be lower in price because they pay lower taxes by itself. But now, the big hole, where does all that money goes to? If they pay 33 times less taxes than any of the other competitors, where does the money go? Do they give it back to nature? Not really. They are part of a foundation, okay? The money is going into a subsidiary trademark organization for IKEA. The thing is, IKEA is owned by a private company. And this is a big issue or a big topic in companies. Companies like Google are not the main ones. There are other companies that own those big names that we know. And the time of IKEA is the same thing. IKEA operates by its name and by mission and vision of non-profitable. But all the money they use, they instantly make payments to their private companies or the investors. So the beneficiaries of it, as we can say, or the owners of these private companies are not publicly recorded into IKEA's company. It's like a separate world. By not syncing the main private company and IKEA owners, you can actually manage that the first company pays lower taxes, can be a non-profitable, but then the revenue goes to the original owner. So if you're wondering, the family who started the business, Ingvar, and I need to read the name once again, it's Ingvar Kamprad. The Kamprar's family owns not IKEA, they're private company holders, okay? They are the investors of IKEA. So in a way, they still have the control of the main company, but separating them into a non-profitable and an investor/equity holders of the main. By this, they can speculate on the company, pay lower taxes, and I'm pretty sure Kamprar's family is the one receiving on this loophole the results, the benefits, and the money back guarantee that is life. So this is a big secret of IKEA that I'm pretty sure you didn't know. The details are hidden. This is not public information. It's really, really hard to obtain, and few of us actually has any knowledge about this. But yes, IKEA is not run by the original founders, and IKEA is a non-profitable company that is held by different private investors and holders of equity. So if you didn't know that, I'm pretty sure you will be quite surprised. And next time you go to IKEA, you may consider buying or not. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure they do a lot of things for the environment by having this double mission. At the end, on a capitalism world, we cannot expect to give things back free to nature. This is only one company that does this actually, which is Patagonia. Patagonia is the only company that the owner literally gave all his money towards environmental causes, and that right now sold the whole company to a non-profitable organization where the money goes immediately, first of all, to paying to the workers, secondly, towards our world, our ecosystems, the forests, and everything around it. IKEA is kind of doing the same thing, but still the private owners, the private equity has their return of investment, as we actually love to call in marketing. So now that we saw these hidden secrets, about IKEA, and I don't want to spend a lot of time going into history, into each step, into the names, and talking about IKEA. I want to make it more fun, more appealing, and more of a conversation. And actually, it's not a conversation, it's a monologue. It's a monologue because I talk non-stop and give some information around it. But let's talk about a few things. How IKEA changed things or modify the perceptions of furniture buying and it became so attractive. To understand the whole idea of IKEA and their stores, we need to head back more than a century ago, 1960s. 1960s was the first time a CAM plan was invented and put into practice. Clarence Saunders invented the first guided store. By guided store, what I mean by this is that it was the first stop that you had to enter in one direction and complete the whole path before getting to the exit. There was a clear guidance for you to go on a straight line going around each one of the halls of the store in order to see as many products as you were able to before heading to the exit or the cashier. This was the first time this concept was invented. And of course, if you are now putting those two concepts up together, IKEA is kind of the same concept, a bit more involved. On IKEA, we have a showroom where we cannot buy anything, but we still need to go on a straight line going around each one of the sections, and the exits are well hidden, so you follow the path and the arrows that are printed on the ground, just like Clarence Saunders did on 1960s. This is the first concept IKEA put into practice. Then we have a second one, and then we expand this, okay? The Gruen effect. Victor Gruen, in 1930, made one simple twist to their store. He started displaying objects behind glass. Pretty objects that you could see but not touch, that you could appreciate, value, and that were there for you just for enjoyment, for seeing and understanding this key element of the stores. In 1930s, it was suit ties, glasses, watches, all of those things. Now we can actually see this for any kind of stores. Their displays on the streets are one of the main appealings in the most concurred cities or streets of the world. So Gruen effect is also present in one single display in IKEA. Every area has a creative director that places items just like they want you to see them. Each one of the objects IKEA has in their showrooms has a meaning, and there's one brilliant mind behind it, placing it just like they want, because that will cause an effect in your brain for retention and impulsive buying. These two effects is how they manage that customer experience. When you find your way in the showroom, the first floor, you follow the arrows in the floor. You are pretty much forced to complete the whole tour. This is kind of doing or going into a museum where you cannot buy, you can touch, but it's not really the usual thing, and you actually have to finish the whole journey from start to finish. And if you're wondering if people last it, yes, there are research. You can find those videos on the internet where people actually complete the whole floor from start to finish without skipping any areas. Even though the exits are there, you can find exits on IKEA. But did you know the exits, the shortcuts of IKEA, even though they need to be there and they are forced to have exit on every single area, they hire special people to hide them from the public eye. So even though they are following the rules and the laws, they try to make your eyes and brain trick in a way that you cannot find them just as easy as you may actually think. Did you know that? I'm pretty sure you didn't, because I wasn't even aware, even though I'm part of this marketing world influencing the consumer's minds. So now let's move on. You follow a showrun, you finish the whole thing. And when you finish, you have kind of a medium haul. And it's funny because that's the first time you can make a decision. A decision into going in the 0 floor, into the storage area where you can buy, or a decision to go and eat upstairs. That's the first time that you can make a decision. What happens when we are giving a decision, a clear frame where we need to make one call or the other? On most of the occasions, we will make a stop to refresh ourselves, to eat something, have a quick snack, or whatever we feel like. We will not jump directly into buying because we feel like we already bought. But we didn't, because we were not allowed to pick any items. Okay? So now you make a quick stop. Where do you go? To IKEA's restaurants, 3rd floor. Okay? And what happened is the IKEA restaurant is also designed to trick each one of us. We mentioned that meatballs, salmon, I think it has pasta dishes, pork knuckle, and a short selection of typical dishes from Sweden. But if you pay attention to each one of the dishes in IKEA's menu, even the hot dogs or the ice cream cones, they have one common element in each one of them. Each IKEA dish is a fatty meal. It's a well-balanced / healthy meal, but that contains high quantities of fat. Fat, like the salmon, like the meatballs with its red meat, the pork knuckle, fatty sauces, fatty dishes that are there for one reason only. On Sweden, they eat those kind of dishes because of the climate. It's really cold habit, so you need the energy to keep on going. But what they found when they put those dishes in the rest of the world is that the population was not used to such rich meals. What happened with them is that when you have a fatty meal, a really heavy one, your digestion system needs to put a lot of work. When your stomach, your intestine, and your body need to digest those kind of meals, the rest of the body feels tired, sleepy, and you're slow. And the whole purpose of the IKEA's menu is to make you work slower. That's the only reason they did it. And you may wonder, why would they like that? Because now you need to buy. You need to go to the last floor, the 0 floor, the storage area. And then you are allowed, this is the first time you see the yellow boxes where you can put items into. That's the first time. And all of a sudden, your mind was tricked into follow a clear route. Okay, you have a start to finish journey to follow. Now, the way the items are displayed are completely chaotic. There are no longer arrows, lights is all the same, and your brain is no longer guided for an exit. You cannot find the exit as easy as you may think. The showroom is a perfect way for you to discover everything and to keep you there. The restaurant area is made to make you sleepy and more sloppy into the self area. And then the furniture, the moment you are, it's every single one of those halls, one by other, comprehend, put all together, no arrows, same lighting, so you are actually lost as much time as possible. Because now you need to buy. And you may wonder, well, but I spend a lot of time in the showroom, and plus all the time that I spend on the restaurant, I may want to go home by now. Data shows that the showrooms tends to last about 40 minutes to an hour, plus another hour in the restaurant if we take it easy, but we can spend even up to 2 hours buying in the self area furniture department. up to 2 hours, more than double the time we spent on the previous 2 areas. Because we are lost, because we want to buy things, and then the compulsive buying effect pop-ups like crazy. So each one of the 3 floors that IKEA has a special meaning. A special meaning to have you the longest time possible in their stores, to make you buy as many things as possible, to even force you to go slower because of the meals that you just had. Every single one of the areas are made for the arousal and emotional balance model that IKEA has. Variance of predisposition, positive effect, and high proactivity towards the customer and toward the store. They had an immense team of psychologists, of sociologists to hear you, make you think and feel what they want. So you have no efforts, but the highest amount of solutions. Price is low, good buying experience, a restaurant, and the longest possible buying time on the shelf area. The IKEA model and the company itself is here by no surprise. They made each one of the steps on the smartest possible way. They acted like every company should. They understood the problems, they saw the opportunity, and then they used the techniques of neuromarketing to influence us consumers in the maximum way possible. Next time you go to IKEA, look at the floor, look at the arrows, look at the lighting. Even the lightings are sometimes arrows, and then compare it to the shelf area, to the furniture one, where they are no longer arrows, lights often are the same, you see no distinction between one hole and the other, etc., etc., etc. They trick you into buying. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? That's up to you. I think that's smart. I think what we need to understand is how they act, so we can use those techniques or that information towards our advantage and select the things we want without getting lost. Since the origins of IKEA, they move really, really well. Each step was done in the right direction, and I'm pretty sure they will continue doing it. If you are interested in having more information about IKEA, or more information about customer experience, the buying journey, the pain points of them, comment down below or get in contact with me in our CS journey, my webpage, where we can connect and build a community, which is all the things I want. It's about talking. This is a monologue, and my monologue and my conversations will keep going and will keep popping up every week. But if you can jump down and give an answer or give an opinion, this will get even more proactive than it's right now. And actually, we can discover many things that I didn't even consider before. So what about going down below and start our csjourney.com and get in contact with me, or write a comment, whatever you prefer. That's up to you. And I'm not framing you, or maybe yes. Those techniques and knowing a bit more IKEA is truly wonderful. I'm constantly looking for changes. I'm constantly looking for those kind of things. And I make these episodes more faster in a way. I try to work in my pronunciation, and I know it's not the best. But for the meantime, stick together, put some feedback, criticize me, whatever you want. I hope you really understood IKEA, you learned something about it, that we can all get something positive out of this experience. As every week, you have shorts going on, more topics next week, and I'll see you. Who knows? Thanks you very much for coming. See you.